Another day, another EV SPAC. There is something special about this one. Lots of things, actually. It's led by Tesla's former chief engineer. They're focused on premium vehicles. They're building a factory in Arizona. They plan to go into production the second quarter of this year. On the SPAC side, it's run by a well-known Citibank guy, Michael Klein. Lucid is backed by some deep pockets, specifically the Saudi Arabia Sovereign Wealth Fund. So today on Dumb Money, our investment, our rationale, and our thoughts on whether this EV SPAC might actually become a Tesla 2.0.
This is Dumb Money Live with Chris Camillo, Dave Hansen, and Jordan McLean, streaming live on YouTube. We are Dumb Money.
Hey there, Dave here along with Chris and Jordan. We are Dumb Money. Welcome to the show. During our last couple of EV SPAC episodes, Lion and Lightning, there was another L word that kept being mentioned over and over in the chat. Lucid Motors. Their car is called the Air. The company is taking pre-orders now for 4 different versions of the Air. They're going to roll out the first of them this year and then some next. But the SPAC is not a done deal, and we will talk about that. Chris, Jordan, what makes Lucid such a hot SPAC prospect?
I mean, it's the company that they're looking to go after, maybe, right? And that's the whole thing with this thing, is it's still a rumor.
It is.
Well, there's so much to unpack with this SPAC, man.
Organize your thoughts. Love the pink headphones.
Why are we doing 3 SPAC episodes in a row? Maybe we'll end up being 7 or 8 in a row.
Here's the thing. I mean, this is a right now opportunity, and so I think people need to know about these things. It's like a phenomenon that's happening right now.
It's what we're thinking about, and that's why we've done 3, and we'll probably do 5. And it's because it's at top of mind for us, and I think it is for a lot of investors.
Yeah, I think the social arb, because we are social arb investors, for those of y'all that are watching for the first time, so we're all about investing in sectors and companies where there's an information imbalance. And I do feel that the EV sector at large, historically, it's been all about Tesla. Tesla was underappreciated, right? People didn't realize how big that was going to get. I think the EV sector, right at this moment at least, is misunderstood and underappreciated by the market at large. But I also think the sentiment of these EV SPACs in particular, it almost is the information that you're arbing, because the sentiment is so strong. Not the entire market doesn't really appreciate that. I think it's going to build. I think it's going to build all year. And this one in particular, we're going to talk about all the things we love about Lucid, but more than anything else, my number one thing, the whole reason why I invested, is because, listen, you have to have a theme, right, or a founder that is going to capture the attention of the market, right?
Yeah.
Tesla did it. Believe it or not, Nikola did it. And that's what's blowing my mind, is that Nikola, with, a highly questionable carnival barking CEO, still was able to capture the attention. Lucid actually has the narrative. They have the story. Whether or not they actually end up being Tesla 2.0 doesn't matter. And do you know why it doesn't matter? The same reason we don't know whether or not Tesla will take over the world, because that's going to be 10 years from now. If Lucid takes over Tesla, it will be 5 to 8 years from now, not this year. So the question that we have to answer is, will the market believe that they could potentially go head to head with Tesla? And I think that the social arb in this trade is that the market this year will determine that it's possible, okay? And it cannot be disproven in 2021. In 2025, it can be disproven. Maybe in 2022, 2023. This year, no one's going to disprove that Lucid can't go head to head. And because of that, and that alone, is why I'm investing in this SPAC. There's a ton of other reasons, of course, we'll talk about, but that's,
well, I think
that's
not just
primary.
that, Chris, but they're actually following a pretty good path, right? And they're following the Tesla path, but they've got, a few years of learning from Tesla also, right? And I think they're in a really good opportunity. They've got former Tesla talent, as we know.
Their CEO is the guy who was in charge of engineering for the Model S, and they're basically building a better Model S.
Right.
Guys, did you hear that story?
First, and they're going after this really high-end market. And everybody's saying, I see this going across the chat, that they're way too expensive. And I agree. For like the average, they're not going after the average consumer right now. They're trying to get to market, and they know they have to make a really expensive car because it's a lot of R&D dollars going in to do this right now.
The exact same
Same
way
as
that Tesla did. Tesla came out with their super expensive Model S and then has worked their way down. They already have the roadmap out of a super expensive 150,000-ish top of the line version that will be coming out first, and then they're going to come out with a lower price, and they have actually 4 different versions that get down to like this $69,995 price point, right? Isn't that how vehicles are always priced?
Yes. Correct. But look, first of all, the CEO is such a big part of this story, guys. Without him, we wouldn't be here talking today. This would not be the opportunity it is today. The story behind him and the Tesla S, the rumor, what I've read at least, is that Elon kind of walked into the room to meet with him about where they were with the Tesla S, and they brought him on, and he had his time to kind of critique where it was, and I think Elon said, so what do you think? How's the team doing? And he was like, it's not even close. And Elon's like, really? Not even close? He's like, not even close. There's so many things wrong with it. He essentially re-architected that car from the ground up, and he really is the brains. He really was, both on the design side and on the engineering side, the brains behind the Tesla S. And guys, that is the greatest narrative you will ever have. Nobody can go head to head with Elon when it comes to engineering design. This is the guy. This is the guy that can do it.
Think about it. Think about this. This car is a decade old, the Model S.
Yeah.
And it stood the test of time. It's still a great car. If you go buy one right now, the interiors, it's not the most complicated.
It broke every kind of record as far as efficiency. Yeah.
It's attractive. People still really admire it. It's a great car.
But you know what, Jordan? I will say this. Lynn, who's the biggest, our friend Lynn, who's maybe watching today, who's the biggest Tesla fan in the world, he's selling his Tesla S.
He said it's the best car he's ever owned. He's enjoyed it more than anything.
He's one of those people that has to be in and out of stuff all the time. He has to have the new shiny toy. Yeah. And so that's
but a lot of people are like that, Jordan. Yeah. A lot of people that bought that original Tesla are like that, and whether they admit it or not, and some of them will, it's kind of getting a little old. It's getting a little bit stale.
The design, I'm surprised they haven't done a major refresh. They've done a few refreshes to the front end and a little tweaks on the interior and things like that, but they haven't really fully gone back to the drawing board, and I think they should.
Because they're focused on selling more lower cost cars than fewer higher cost cars.
Yeah. Right.
Even the Cybertruck is a very affordable version of a pickup truck. Whether or not we ever see it in the form that we saw in that unveil.
Oh, we have a doubter.
All right.
I've ordered one. I can't wait for mine to show up in my driveway.
Peter Rawlings, the CEO, though, I think he makes some really good points. Being number 2 is sometimes a huge advantage, okay? Yes. He is able to go in and learn, and there's been so many stories where being the number 2 was a huge advantage because you can see the mistakes that the the first market entry made. You can improve on that. You can see this amazing product, and Tesla is incredible. You can't say it's not incredible. And you can say, you know what? But here's how we can make it better. And if you actually have the engineering talent, which he obviously does, to make it better. And I've spent probably 15 hours deep analyzing the vehicle itself, the Air. I will say this, guys. It is from a car guy's perspective, it's pretty darn incredible. His background is Formula. So this company, for those of y'all that don't know, Lucid, prior to being Lucid, was the battery company that essentially made batteries, including for Formula One racers, okay? And they were able to actually take Formula One racing batteries out from a 2-stage process to where it would only last half the race to where now it actually lasts the entire race. So they are coming from a racing heritage, and it's all about battery usage, okay? So it's all about efficiency. That's the EV game. How much can you extract from a battery, right? And one of the biggest things that they're doing on this battery, Jordan, you might understand this a little bit better than me, it's all about the voltage. So they're going to a 900, is that right? 900 volt battery.
That's the charging capacity. So it can charge at a higher, faster rate than Tesla locked their system into.
And Lucid CEO claims that because Tesla has made such a commitment to the 400 voltage that they are now stuck there. Is what he's claiming. For a while, they're stuck there. And that really limits the ability to quick charge a Tesla. So I think I have
this
here,
is
yes.
the actual quote. This is the quote from the CEO at Lucid. We can do even better. I've seen missteps that Tesla made with their charging network. They're stuck at 400 volts charging capacity and can't go higher, and their manufacturing struggles. We won't make such mistakes. So they're basically learning from a decade of what they did at Tesla, and he was involved in, and they're able to kind of iterate on that process. Now, obviously, Tesla is going to keep iterating, and Tesla is one of the best companies when it comes to taking their stuff and making it better. And we've seen their battery, we've seen everything that they're working on. It's just, I think that Lucid has a chance to compete, and that's why I'm in it.
Yeah,
So
look,
the Lucid
I
is a
don't think
20-minute.
Lucid needs to go to $800 billion market cap for it to be a wildly successful company and a really successful investment, right? And so it doesn't need to fully take on Tesla. They just need to go down their own path and figure out what their path is going to be as far as, once they get everything dialed in, get some sales underneath them, how are they going to start to differentiate themselves with different models?
By the way, that charging is a 20-minute charge for 300 miles, which is pretty impressive. And they also have they're going to market, I believe, with a bi-directional charger. I think they're going to market. If not, it's very close.
That's the rumor that I've heard. Yeah, and so basically, you could power your house with the, because people ramped that rumor up for Tesla, and then it was kind of squashed from Elon, and now for some reason, Lucid's like, hey, yeah, we want to be able to offer that.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, guys. In fact, since we're talking about the car, can we just start our deep dive into the tech? Because, guys, here's the thing. The one big differentiator between Lucid and every other, I think, consumer EV manufacturer, and there are some companies that are going to have some proprietary elements to their EV tech, but Lucid is not just about having a couple proprietary elements. They are all in on technology. There is so much technology behind this company. It's kind of mind-blowing. So I don't know what the best way is to go about this, but there are some, Jordan, could you kind of highlight maybe some of the big different engineering feats that they pulled off, like elements of the car that are
there's
just kind
two main things. One is it's got less aerodynamic drag than the Model S, right? And so that's one of their because they're modeling all these things in computers, and so they're able to get more out of these batteries because of that, right? That's one of them. The bigger issue is that they're actually cooling the engine, and so they've done a bunch of computer modeling, and from what you sent me an article, Chris, they found dead zones in these electric motors where they've been able to figure out how to get some cooling into those dead zones, and where they don't waste some of the electromagnetic charge that actually makes these things spin, but at the same time, they're being able to cool down those coils to let electrons flow freer. And so with those two things combined, they're actually able to get more mileage per watt than Tesla's getting out of the Model S currently. And
also,
this is huge, right? Because Tesla is the benchmark. The Model S is the benchmark for all this stuff, and the rest of the EVs are like maybe 50% worse than the Model S to 100% worse than the Model S as far as watts per mile.
Also, Jordan, how about that like computerized coil winding? Because I guess the wiring is so important with the kind of the way that
so that
the
falls into the
magnetic
engine
patterns.
improvements, and so that's another engine improvement they've made along with the cooling, just to make it more electrically efficient.
And there's one other piece. I'm trying to remember what it is. I have it written down here. It was one major component of the drivetrain that they have kind of reduced by it was like a ridiculous reduction in size. It's like a 60% reduction in size. And all across the spectrum of the design of this car and the engineering, they have taken things and made them more efficient, made them smaller. In fact, because they were able to do that, it's funny, they've been able to make the interior cabin, and for those of y'all that have seen the video, this, the Lucid video, the interior cabin of the Air is actually a full-size cabin, even though the exterior of the car is a mid-size vehicle, because they actually have less room that they had to allocate for the drivetrain components.
And
of
think
the
about it, the
vehicle.
battery. So since they're more electrically efficient, they can get away with less battery for the same amount of range that the corresponding Tesla, but even more so than some of these other companies like Audi.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, and not only are they getting better range, but on the performance side, so think about this: a full-size interior vehicle, 0 to 60 in 2.5, but more than that, a 9.9 second quarter mile, which they're claiming, and this changes all the time. I know Tesla's like, oh, Elon will tell you, hey, we can tweak our car to be quicker. But a 9.9 second they're claiming is kind of the quickest quarter mile for a 4-door EV. So again, they're right up there with Tesla. Listen, I don't think a
Didn't
tenth
we
of a
read an
second is going to
article of
matter.
this thing? They were getting this thing up to like over 200 miles an hour on some of these tracks.
Yes.
Yeah. But what
that's what I
initially
read.
turned me off, guys, and I've gotten past this, is I was like, does the world, like, how big of a deal is having like an EV luxury vehicle? And let me start in one place. It probably is a kind of a big deal, actually. It's a bigger deal than I thought, because I don't think that the major manufacturers are going to have the technology in place to make an amazing full-size, right, luxury vehicle, because the efficiencies are not there. In fact, this efficiency metric, I forget what they call it, it's nearly double in the Lucid Air as it is against some of the larger or more performance-oriented, like the Porsche or the Jaguar, like the EV vehicles that are coming out on the luxury side. So they have nearly twice the efficiency, which allows you to do so much when it comes to range, when it comes to performance. So I think that Lucid has the ability to maybe own that market and then lever that. And here's the important piece. I think I liked hearing that their goal, similar to Tesla, their goal is to come out and make the killer $25,000 EV. And how do they get there? With technology, okay? The same way that Elon is going to get there. I don't think one or the other is going to get there. I think that Tesla is going to get there. I think that Lucid has a shot at getting there. And listen, they could be a player, guys. They could be the Avis to Hertz. And guys, we know what happened to Hertz. I don't know what's going to happen to Tesla.
Well, I mean, I don't think about Hertz when I think about these guys. What I think is that this is good competition. It should drive Tesla to be a better company, and then they're going to have to compete with Tesla, so they're going to have to, step up their game. So this is good old-fashioned capitalism and competition, and I love it.
To me, this is the first player that actually has a chance to compete with Tesla on the Model S. I haven't seen others in the US market anyway that come close, right? We have NIO in China, but for a luxury EV thing, I mean, on a technology standpoint, yes, you're going to have your EV Porsches and things, but I just feel like this one actually has the chance to make a difference.
Do you remember earlier last year, or maybe even mid last year, it's crazy, not that long ago, when we were, not we, but the word on the street was that Nikola could potentially be a Tesla killer. I mean, just the fact that people were talking about
headline,
Nikola and Tesla in the same sentence. Now here you have the actual company, and by the way, understand something, guys. There are other companies like Rivian out there, for example, that are crushing tech in the EV space. We don't talk about Rivian a lot because they're private. They have, owned by Ford to some extent, and Amazon, and private equity.
If they were doing a SPAC, we would be all over talking about that.
Rivian, yeah. But Rivian is not like, they're approaching the market a little bit differently. They're approaching it from the Nikola truck side, which is awesome. Okay, I think they're going to be a major player.
Really, I mean, because Nikola, they were going out, they were
pick up,
Nikola, but I mean,
the consumer side.
They're going after they're going to do some delivery stuff that they're targeting for Amazon also, but they're also going to make a consumer pickup truck, a consumer SUV, and that's like if I were to buy any of these cars, I'm not buying Tesla. I'm not buying Lucid. I would buy the Rivian because that's my lifestyle.
But that's you're a truck guy, dude. You drive pickup trucks. You drive pickup trucks, dude.
I would buy that Rivian so quick.
Yeah. You would buy that, and I don't really want a Model S or an Air. I think that the Model X would be the one that I would. I just wish it were a little bit more like a larger, slightly larger SUV, not such a car-ish SUV.
For the size of like if it were the size of like an XC90, I think it'd be a really nice car.
You know what I do love about
the Cybertruck, which is I'm just going to have to go for the big one because that's what I need.
You know what I love about Lucid though? Lucid, they are so like Jordan. This is what I think you'll love about Lucid. Like they are so engineer driven. Ready for this? I'm going to say even more so in some elements than Tesla. That they like if you deepen your research. They kind of rip on Tesla's just like impreciseness of the way their vehicles are put together, like the design elements, just like how many issues there are with panels not matching, with like almost this CEO of Lucid almost reminds me, I'm gonna say it, I know it's scary, a little bit of Steve Jobs in him, you know, with the way that he thinks about develop these, like when I hear him talk, I feel a little bit of Steve Jobs in this guy, which is kind of exciting. Because you know that if you're going to put out $160,000 on a car, and they're not all going to be that much, right? They have $80,000, $90,000 models.
Yeah.
But you know that you're getting a beautiful, from the inside out, even what you can't see, right? That's the Jobs thing. Even what you can't see, a beautiful piece of engineering. This could develop into what, here's the big word, guys, because this is what you need in this world. A brand. He could have some real bulk behind the Lucid brand that actually means something, okay? That people can rally behind. Because what do you need in an EV company? You need ambassadors. You need people that go nuts and talk about your brand over and over and over again. And we know what I'm seeing right now on the StockTwits board, okay? On forums, on Wall Street Bets. There is a massive cult following for this brand. And it's something that's fascinating because I really haven't seen this with other EV companies. I tried to get going with a few others, with Fisker, with Nikola even, but they really are starting to have this cult following. And man, it's not a company, it's a company I kind of have to be in, right? Like if you think about the Tesla move, this is a company that if it starts to go, guys, if it starts to go, you know what I'm saying? It can get crazy.
If they had private shares available, you would be trying to find those private shares, right? And the best way that we have right now to get into these kind of things is through these weird SPACs, which, by the way, we have to remind people that the merger is not confirmed, right? So we're still waiting. We're still waiting. We're basically investing in a hope and a dream that maybe the Lucid people and the SPAC of, what's it called? CCIV.
Yeah, CCIV,
actually happens.
Anybody who's looking at doing this thing, and don't follow us in this trade because this is very speculative. We have no idea if these rumors about CCIV merging with Lucid Motors are true or not. They might be. It's a binary thing. If this happens, it could go really well. If it doesn't happen, it could go really poorly for the CCIV SPAC.
Right back to 10 or 11, like right back to 10 or 11.
The zero of the SPAC world seems to be $10, and
you know, does it scare you a little bit?
In the last 5 days.
These guys are so smart. I do want to talk about the team. These guys are so smart, but it does kind of scare me that they were focused on DirecTV prior to Lucid, and I guess the DirecTV talks didn't go so well.
That was a weird bit. But I mean, I don't know why that wouldn't go well because AT&T is looking to get rid of DirecTV.
Yeah, but evidently, I don't know, the deal didn't go. But like, DirecTV seems like a terrible SPAC to me. I don't know, but here's why people are so confident that this deal is going to happen. Andrew Liberia, he's the director of the board actually at Lucid, I guess, and he is a partner at CCIV, right? So there's just a lot. And then you know that, you already said this, Michael Klein at CCIV, he is like the guy for the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund who happens to be the investor, basically the owner right now of Lucid. And he put the deal together at Aramco. Like, he's doing all these Saudi deals. So like all the elements are there. And yesterday's meeting, the company meeting that they supposedly had at Lucid, they essentially said, hey, we're going to IPO. We're going to IPO by April, which would be kind of in the right timeline here. For this to happen. Neither company has come out and said, hey, this rumor is not correct, and the rumor has been so big this week that you think that one or the other, reasonable chance they might have come out and denied it if it's not true. And also, I saw a stat, I don't know if it's true or not, that said about 84% of SPACs, when these kind of rumored discussions, when the discussions are happening, ultimately result in a definitive offer, right? A definitive deal.
Some study was done by like reading news, like rumor news, like rumored to be in talks, and determined that the outcome of rumored to be in talks headlines were accurate like 70 or 80% of the time.
Yeah.
So that brings the question: what's your conviction level, both on the deal actually happening, and I as Lucid as a company, it would be definitely one that I'm a high conviction in, but so it really comes down to conviction on this actually happening.
So before Chris goes, because Chris is very opinionated, we know that, I'll give you mine. I've got a low conviction that it's actual, but I'm a pessimist, right? So I'm not a bear, but at the same time, I'm always pretty cautious. I bought some of this. Not anything that would, hurt me in a really bad way if it doesn't happen. I just bought some so I can have exposure to it, so that if it does happen, then I'm already in and I can buy some more. It forces me to watch it. It forces me to kind of figure out my own way through this thing. But I would say, low on that it actually happens. But if it does happen, very long on Lucid itself.
For the longer term, you want the company. And yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm kind of medium conviction on this actually happening. I think there's a good likelihood, so I'm medium conviction on the deal happening and super high conviction on the stock, regardless of how it goes public. So I actually have made my biggest EV SPAC dollar amount investment to date in this SPAC that may or may not happen.
That's kind of blows my mind, and I know why that happened, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. What my thesis is on why this is your biggest SPAC investment. First of all, let me just say the fact, and by the way, I can't believe I'm wearing these headphones. I got to get my new earpiece. I'm sorry, guys, I look like an idiot today. But Jordan, the fact that you're even investing in this speculative SPAC that's not even a company yet, we don't even know what's happening on a consumer EV company. That in itself blows my mind. I, like you, am I'm medium conviction because I'm not sure if the deal is actually going to get done. I think the deal is going to get done. I think it's going to be CCIV. If I were to put a percentage on it, I would say, I don't know, 70%. I think the deal will get done. By the way, we're not financial advisors. Guys, we've told that a million times in the past. Do not follow our trades. This is about our strategy, our methodology, our process for collaborating with the community and ourselves to kind of find these deals and to analyze them. Do not copy our trade. We don't know your risk tolerance. Ours is sky high. Here's the deal, guys. If it gets done, if it comes out and CCIV is the SPAC for Lucid, it turns, Dave, I'm like you, from medium to high conviction. So my investment was $300,000 roughly, or $350,000 as of right now. I have two high conviction EV SPAC investments. We've had episodes on them in the last 3 days. You know what they are. I have $1.5 million, I think, in Lion Electric. That was an amazing episode. If you haven't seen it, guys, watch it. It's on our channel from this week. I put $1 million into Lightning e-motors, which I hate the name, and I tweeted that. I feel bad. I tweeted the CEO, told him his name sucked this week, and his website sucked. Now I have regret, because I'm like, the way I came off was maybe a little bit rough, and I want to publicly apologize to him for that, because I love the company. I put $1 million in the company. Those are high conviction trades.
He responded, right? He's seen it.
Did he respond?
He responded. I liked the comment. Look, yeah.
So wait, he didn't get mad at me for saying that?
I don't know. You might have hurt his feelings. We'll see.
Oh God. Oh, I feel so bad. The second I sent it, I was like, there was a nicer way to poke fun. All right, now I got to apologize to him. Anyway,
Just look for his comment. He seems like a good guy.
all right. Now he seems like an awesome guy, and I don't want to burn that bridge because I love the company. Oh, by the way, you know what? They hired it looks like they hired a new web designer. Someone sent me his
On your recommendation.
No.
Sure.
The biggest story about this is that you're going to have an enemy for life, and whoever their current web designer is, they're like, that Chris Camillo got me fired from this job.
Was it even a web designer, or was it just like an intern? I
don't know.
Was it
Is
just
Twitter
like
down right now?
Maybe,
I was trying to find this
I think
tweet.
you're maxing out your LTE, Dave.
Probably. That's probably exactly what's going on. We are broadcasting. Now I got 5G here. It's great.
That is great,
But I've used
man.
it all, apparently.
Anyway, man, guys, I am so excited for these EV SPAC episodes that we're going to be doing this week. I have like 3 or 4 more in my head that like I want to do right this second, but we can't do them all today. So every one of them has a different conviction level. Every one of them has a different storyline. Here's the good thing, guys. Just know if you're watching our EV SPAC episodes this week, I am all in, and I'm sorry to the rest of the Discord community. I've kind of been ignoring other high conviction trades because right now my mind is in EV SPAC mode. I am consuming every bit of research that I can on this sector. I want to make sure that I can properly separate, the noise from the real deal, and I do think this is a real deal here with Lucid, just like our last 2 EV episodes. These are kind of our favorites so far, but there are others, and we're going to kind of go down the supply chain. We'll have episodes this next week on battery tech, maybe even an episode on lithium miners, because I've been doing a deep dive into lithium miners, and I have some great intel from 2 different people that know the space really well. We'll be doing that episode probably this week as well. So make sure that you hit the bell, because you never know. We might be back tomorrow on a Sunday, and you'll miss it if you don't hit that notification bell.
I think if you're asking Jordan and I whether that's a high or low conviction of us showing up again tomorrow, it's a low conviction.
I got a dirty look from my wife when I said I got to go do an episode. She's like, it's Saturday. And I'm like, I just kept walking.
I think you weren't here, but I contacted my union rep, Chris.
I'm only doing an episode now because Megan also is doing Zoom meetings for her business, and I took over the hotel room and made her go to the business center to do her Zoom meeting. So not tomorrow though, but I can do one maybe Monday and Tuesday.
So listen, I'm sorry we didn't get to too many comments here, but we kind of have to keep it a little bit short. I'll tell you this: if you guys want to comment on the replay, we'll dig in. Can we all commit, each spending half an hour to an hour this weekend, digging into the comments on this replay and a couple of the others, and let's get those answered.
So if you had a question or a comment or anything that you wanted to say, and you're in our live chat right now, and we haven't addressed it, we've only gotten to a few of them. Definitely wait, I guess once we end, then wait a little bit and refresh, and then you'll be able to post a comment to the video replay. Unless comments are already available. I think that you have to wait until the replay.
Hey guys, we really appreciate it. And for those of y'all that are watching for the first time today, you might not know that we had the best year of our investing careers in 2020. We actually traded and made $25 million. We have 2 episodes on our OG channel, which is youtube.com/dumb money, not dumb money live, where you can watch 2 highlight episodes where we go over our top 10 trades of 2020 and how we made $25 million in 1 year trading, which still blows my mind. You know, guys, I said that there was no way that we can replicate that this year. And I'm still not going to say that we can, but based on how the last
January
week went,
16th, you're not going to make that call quite yet.
Not yet, but I'm feeling better every day as I kind of see the SPAC world emerge, because I think that if we can really kind of get in there and pick the right SPACs this year, that will be a big part of our 2021 strategy. So keep watching. We will do the homework for you.
Dumb Money Live is SPAC-a-palooza, and no, we're not doing the homework exclusively for you. You should do your own homework, but we're going to be surfacing the ideas that we come across, and we're looking for ideas in the Discord group. If you're not a member there, go to dumbmoney.tv/Discord. You can get an invite.
You should look at Discord because they're doing a bunch of homework. We're doing homework. You do your own homework. Yes. There's homework everywhere around this community.
Yeah, and there's no better time when you can monetize that homework than right now, because with these SPACs, there are too many companies coming on the market. And what does that mean? Wall Street, we know Wall Street better than anyone. We worked with the largest funds and the largest banks on Wall Street for years, consulting and advising them on how to extract value from social information and from alternative data sets. That was our last career at Ticker Tags. They cannot handle this much information. I promise you, they do not have the resources, they do not have the talent, they do not have the ability to properly analyze this many companies coming onto the market. And that means that we have an opportunity as retail investors to do deeper dives. We are more nimble than them, we can move quicker than them, and as long as we can separate the noise from what's real, this is I think 2021 might be actually the opportunity of the decade for retail investors to have an edge on old school Wall Street, just because of how many opportunities are out there and how across a wide spectrum of industry sectors as well.
And I do want to address this question, episode Monday or no, since the market is closed. Let's do it Tuesday.
Okay, unless you're feeling up for it Monday, I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
I might be on a bicycle. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, let's play it by ear. Play it by ear. Maybe not. We'll see. Depending on where
you're
Dave is.
subscribed, because the only way to know whether or not we're doing a show is by actually being here, right?
Yes.
Reminder: this is where you can go to join our Discord. Dumbmoney.tv is the place where you can go to find all the places where we are. If you want to follow us on Twitter and that sort of thing. Chris has way too many Twitter followers, but Jordan and I could use some. So.
Not too
Hey,
many.
I'm almost.
Don't even bother with Chris.
No, I need like another 50 to get to 100,000, and so like it could happen right this second if everybody just goes on Twitter and follows Chris Camillo. I don't know. That'd be nice. A nice little gift on a set. Oh, I hit it. I'm sorry. Unless I hit it last night. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
That's going to do it for us. We are Dumb Money. We will see you here next week.